Hi guys, welcome to V Builds. We make videos for you about our tiny house projects or other projects to learn from. We break down what they cost and how they do it. I'm very new, so please let me know what you like about videos and what I can improve.
Preparing the foundation poles with an ancient technique. In the heart of the wilderness, far away from the nearest town or even a dirt road, he begins his project in a way that honors ancient wisdom. There are no power tools humming, no diesel engines growling in the background, only the wind moving through the treetops, the occasional call of a distant bird, and the quiet, deliberate movements of a man who knows exactly what he is doing. The first step is to protect the foundation poles, not with modern chemicals or store-bought preservatives, but with a time-tested, eco-friendly technique that has endured for centuries across cultures and continents. He builds a small, steady fire, carefully controlling the heat and flames with practiced ease. These flames are not aggressive. They are calm, patient, almost ceremonial in their rhythm, as though the fire itself understands the importance of the task at hand. Into this controlled fire, he places the ends of the long wooden poles. Slowly, deliberately, the flames char the outer layer of the wood, turning it black and hard, forming a protective carbon shell that will resist the countless threats the forest floor can throw at it. This ancient method, sometimes called sho sugiban in Japan, or simply charring in other cultures around the world, prevents moisture, fungi, and insects from attacking the wood deep inside. The charred surface becomes almost impervious to decay, a natural armor born of fire and patience. This process is not rushed. He turns each pole with care, ensuring that every inch of the underground portion receives an even, thorough charring. Too little heat, and the protection is incomplete. Too much, and the structural integrity of the wood could be compromised. It is a balance learned not from textbooks, but from experience, from a deep, intuitive understanding of materials and the forces of nature. This is not just about protection. It is a symbolic gesture, too. Fire giving the wood new life, allowing it to stand proudly in the damp forest floor for decades to come. As he works, you can feel the rhythm of the old ways, a deep respect for natural processes that modern builders have long forgotten in their rush towards synthetic solutions and industrial shortcuts. Here, in this quiet clearing, those old ways are not just remembered, they are lived. Once the poles are prepared and leaning neatly against a nearby tree, the next task awaits: digging the foundation holes. With nothing but a sturdy shovel and sheer determination, he surveys the uneven, mossy forest floor with a careful, practiced eye. The ground here is thick, layered with roots, stones, and compact earth that has not been disturbed for years, perhaps decades. The forest has had its way with this soil for a long time, and it does not give up its grip easily. Every hole needs to be placed with extraordinary precision. Not only must the holes be deep enough to ensure the house can stand tall and stable, even during the harshest winter storms, but they also need to be perfectly aligned with one another, forming a square or rectangle that will support the entire structure above. An error of even a few centimeters here can cascade upward through every subsequent step, resulting in crooked beams, unlevel floors, and walls that refuse to sit straight. You can watch him measure, recheck, and adjust, moving his measuring line, tapping in small stakes, stepping back to sight down the lines with a squinting eye. He uses simple tools: rope, wooden stakes, a handmade level fashioned from a length of clear tubing filled with water. There are no laser levels, no digital instruments, just geometry, patience, and an intimate knowledge of how structures want to stand in the world. Each hole is at least a meter deep, sometimes more where the ground is softer or the frost line demands it. He digs methodically, lifting out the earth in steady, rhythmic strokes, carefully setting the removed soil to one side so it does not slide back in. The earth is stubborn, full of hidden rocks and tangled roots that must be worked around or cut through. But he is patient, patiently removing layer by layer, knowing that the stability of the entire house and the safety of everyone who will one day shelter inside it depends on getting these first steps absolutely right. When the holes are finally complete, he stands back, wipes the sweat from his brow, and looks at them with a quiet satisfaction. They are perfectly placed, perfectly deep. The forest floor now holds the promise of something solid and enduring. Crafting the staircase. This is not a rough, temporary ladder thrown together for convenience. No, he envisions something elegant, sturdy, and permanent. A staircase that not only serves its practical purpose of connecting the ground to the elevated floor, but also blends seamlessly with the natural beauty of the surroundings, as though it grew there alongside the trees. The design lives first in his mind, then is transferred to the wood through careful measurement and deliberate cuts. He works slowly because he knows that a staircase built in haste becomes a staircase rebuilt in frustration. Each step is hand-cut, sanded smooth to remove any splinters or rough edges, and carefully measured to ensure a consistent rise and run, the critical dimensions that determine whether a staircase feels comfortable or awkward to climb. The stringers, the long diagonal supports on either side of the steps, are laid out with meticulous attention to the mathematics of the incline. He marks each notch by hand, checks it twice, then cuts with steady, confident strokes. The steps themselves are thick and solid, chosen from the strongest, most even-grained boards available. There is no flex, no bounce, no uncertainty when you set your foot on them. Each one holds like stone. The staircase curves gently as it approaches the landing, inviting anyone who approaches the house to ascend with ease and grace. You can feel the craftsmanship in every detail. The way the handrail follows the natural curve, the solid, reassuring feel of the steps underfoot, the way the whole structure sits against the house as if it always belonged there. It is a piece of functional art, a sculpture in wood, leading from the earthy forest floor up to the wooden sanctuary above.
Hey, Francis. Francis. Yeah. Francis. Aferin sana.
Sanki kar yağmış gibi yaptı. Şuna bak.
With the house structure beginning to rise in earnest, floor solid, walls framed, the staircase complete, he turns his attention to the windows. Windows are the eyes of any home, and in a setting like this, surrounded on all sides by ancient forest, they are far more than openings in a wall. They are the bridge between the cozy interior and the breathtaking wilderness outside, the place where the human world and the natural world meet and gaze at one another. He carefully measures and cuts the first window frames, working methodically to ensure that each one is square, true, and sized correctly for the openings in the wall framing. These frames need to be solid and perfectly level. A window frame that is even slightly out of square will cause problems for years to come, making windows stick, gaps form, and drafts creep in on cold nights. He positions each window with more than just structural considerations in mind. He thinks about the light, where the morning sun rises, where the evening light turns golden and warm. He thinks about the view, the gap in the trees where the distant mountains are visible on clear days, the stream that glints through the undergrowth to the east. He places windows where the sunlight will stream in during the golden hours, and where the view will bring peace and a sense of expansiveness to anyone sitting quietly inside. It is more than functionality. It is an art. To build well in a place like this is to engage in a kind of conversation with the landscape, listening to what the land is saying, and responding with wood and glass and intention. The windows, once framed and eventually glazed, will be the face the house presents to the forest, and he intends that face to be open, honest and welcoming. The next critical task, one that changes the entire feeling of the project, is the roof. In a forest like this, where the weather can change in an instant, where a clear sky can give way to driving rain within an hour, and where winter brings heavy, wet snow that accumulates silently overnight, the roof is more than just a top cover. It is the first and most important line of defense against the elements, the feature that more than any other determines whether this house will be a place of warmth and safety or a place of perpetual damp and cold. He begins by carefully placing the roof panels, working methodically and deliberately from the lower edge upward to the ridge, ensuring that each panel overlaps the one below it by exactly the right amount to allow rain and snow melt to slide off effortlessly without finding a gap to infiltrate. Every panel is checked for alignment before it is fixed in place. A crooked panel now means a leak later, and in a remote location like this, a leak is not just an inconvenience, it is a serious problem. The pitch of the roof is calculated to perfection, steep enough to shed heavy snow loads before they can accumulate to dangerous weights, but not so steep that it makes the interior feel cramped or the exterior look ungainly against the horizontal lines of the forest floor. It is a balance of engineering and aesthetics, arrived at through calculation and intuition in equal measure. Every board, every nail is placed with intention and care, knowing that a single weakness could compromise the entire structure. He works steadily, without rushing, even as the light begins to shift and the forest sounds change around him. The roof panels, once fully in place, transform the house visually and practically. The structure beneath is no longer just a frame. It is a sheltered space, protected from above, ready to be enclosed. Even during a storm, this elevated cabin will provide warmth and safety to whoever shelters within it.
Evet. Çatının bu üçgen kısmını tahtadan yaptım. OSB şu kısma tam yetti. Sadece orası kaldı. Onu bu şekilde yaptım. Şimdi bunu buraya yerleştirme vakti.
Finally, he turns to the walls. Up until now, the house has been an open skeleton, its bones exposed to the wind, the light, the birds that perch curiously on the beams, and the ever-present hum and breath of the forest. The structure has been taking shape day by day, but it has remained open, porous, part of the surrounding woodland rather than separate from it. Now, that begins to change. He begins the painstaking process of sealing the walls, one plank at a time. Each board is carefully measured to the exact length needed. No two are quite the same, because the house, like every hand-built structure, has its own small variations, its own personality that emerges through the building process. Each board is cut, checked for fit, then nailed into place with steady, practiced strokes of the hammer, creating a seamless, weatherproof skin around the house. This process is meditative, almost hypnotic in its rhythm. The steady crack of the hammer echoes through the clearing, each strike marking a small advance, another inch of open frame becoming closed wall. He falls into a quiet, focused state, moving along the wall, board by board, keeping the lines true, checking the spacing, stepping back periodically to assess the overall progress with a critical eye. As the walls close up, the house transforms. What had been an airy frame, open to every breeze, becomes a warm, enclosed space. The sounds of the forest are muffled now. They come through the walls as a softer, more distant presence, rather than an immediate surrounding. The interior begins to accumulate its own atmosphere, a slight warmth from the sun on the southern walls, a pleasant smell of fresh-cut wood, the sense of a space defined and held. When he finally steps back to survey the completed structure, you see the vision fully realized. A beautiful wooden house raised on poles, standing proud and solid in the heart of the untamed forest. It is not just a building, it is a statement, a demonstration that human hands, working with patience and skill and deep respect for the natural world, can create something that belongs here, something that will shelter and endure for generations. Built without machines, without chemicals, without haste, but with an enduring love for the craft and the land.
Tamam.